owner Barbie Barta shares with us one story from a tractor supply company.
They had gone through the full interview process with the candidate, sent an offer letter. He signed the offer letter. They never heard from him again. And it was for a professional level job.
Barta says that can blacklist your name within a company or a staffing firm. Russell Clayton teaches business administration at the University of South Florida. Speaking remotely, he tells us the consequences could follow you.
Certain industries and even just certain locations are pretty small. If you go someone in a particular industry, well, they talk, and there's a chance that your name gets around in a bad light.
It's hard enough to land a job interview, so hiring experts say there are several reasons for someone to not show up.
Maybe they received another offer that they determined was better. Maybe a lot of candidates have multiple interviews and end up with multiple offers at one time.
Candidates may also not like the company's culture or benefits. It's also possible there was a breakdown in communication, but it's a two-way street. 77% of workers surveyed said a company ghosted them in the last year.
Still, for so long, it's been the norm, and there's been article after article after article about organizations ghosting us, that it may be that the workers are now saying, guess what? I can do that same behavior.
That was fun.
All these folks are ghosting companies that hire them. You know something? Y'all are idiots. I guess you just want to keep that free money coming in from the government. Now, if you live in some of these states where you got to pay that unemployment taxes money, go and pay taxes on that money. So it ain't free. Y'all are a bunch of damned idiots.
Individual liberties, and I feel that people have those. I personally don't feel like mandating something in a pandemic is the way to get the American people or the people of Georgia to do something.
That executive order also stops state employers from requiring
Fund their proposal.
This proposal is fully paid for, does not need to have any raises in taxes, and avoids the big threat to the economy right now, which is inflation. Inflation is the #1 threat to our nation right now in our economy.
Democrats say there's simply not enough unspent COVID money to pay for the deal like Republicans want. As talks continue, the White House insists it wants a bipartisan deal, but also says the country needs to make strong investments.
These plans that we're talking about is actually an investment in our country, an investment in people, an investment in families that we need, that we have long needed.
President Biden.
How many months has it been since I asked y'all to get this fixed? And it's still not fixed? .673 North Highland.
And as you said, Councilman Brown believes that the suspects were young children, no more than 12 or 13 years old. The youngest possibly even 6 or 7 years old. And he calls the entire situation disheartening. Now, Councilman Brown was in the Dixie Hills community on Verbena Street, meeting with community leaders around 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon, when he says 4 young children stole his car. Now, at the time, he was merely 3 or 4 feet away from his car. He says the children no more than 12 or 13 years old. And as we've said, the youngest possibly 6 or 7. And at one point, he's even said he thought he saw the 6 or 7-year-old holding a toy. Now, Councilman Brown says he does not plan to press charges, but does want these children, when caught, to get help.
I do have a choice, but you know it's so interesting, Patty, that you asked that. The officers told me yesterday that even if I did press charges, that because these are minors, the system is not going to take them in, and the only thing that would happen is they would be turned back over to their parents. Now, if they don't have parents or they don't have an adult figure in their lives, then at that time, they would go, I guess, to DFACS. But my whole position on this was, you know, these are little kids, 7 to 12 years old, making poor decisions in their lives right now that I think are a reflection of the environment and conditions in which they live in. I'm not going to press charges on kids to impact them for the rest of their lives.
Councilman Antonio Brown had his car stolen from him. Well, apparently, he didn't do what the police been telling people to do. Lock your car, take your keys. And the parents of these kids need to be held accountable. Because the kids ain't going to be held accountable. You know how the evolving door is in the justice system. Lock them up, call the parents, and turn their asses loose to do it again. Elimination of oxygen generator. They're taking the trees. Trees are what produces oxygen. I got some 2x4s for sale. There they sit right there.